previous session, we were looking at the data import and export features of MATLAB, and we had considered one of the topic under that, which was to write the tables into the text files. Okay, and now we will move on to the next concept here, and that is the second one is cell array to text format. Okay, so we'll move on to the MATLAB window and we'll check how this can be done. Right. So first we shall create a simple cell array. So C is equal to, we'll create a cell array. So this again is like a revision for you how to create the cell array. So cell arrays can contain any type of data. So I'll put all the types of data over here. So maybe this is comma 32 77.5 character. Okay, and I put a new line, and then I want to have this followed by 30 number. We'll go to a new line and okay, so you can see that we created a cell array which is a 3 into 4. All right, now you can write this onto any data. Let me write it into a data format, scientific data file. So let's use the function called write cell. You just have to mention which cell you want to write and what is the file name that you want to write. So this is data.dat. Right, as you press enter, a data file will come in the folder. You can see here, that's the data. Now you can check that by using type data. Oh, sorry, it has to be my mistake. I have to specify .dat, otherwise it will open another function called data. All right, so type data.dat actually opens that. By default, you can see that the separations between the data happens in terms of comma. All right, so that was the technique to write a cell array into the text. Right, then let's move on to the next topic, and here we are going to convert the numerical array into the text file. So the third concept is numeric array, writing that into a text file. Now, just to see this technique, let's go back to the MATLAB window. Right, so my intention is to create a numerical array now. So I'll create that A is equal to logic of say 5, and I want to make it real numbers by dividing maybe say 10. You can see this is how it's creating an array by default. Now I simply want to write this into a text file. Okay, so for that let me create the data files which we already have created. So let's simply delete that, and later on we can see that we can actually create by the same name. All right, so now the function here, whenever you want to write a numerical array to a file, the command that you are going to use or the function is write matrix. Okay, this is write matrix. Give the name of the matrix, comma, specify which file you want to write. So maybe I want to write my data dot t. All right, comma. Now I'll show you a technique using which you can actually change the delimiter. So previous case, the delimiter was comma. By default, the MATLAB puts comma between the variable, between the values that we enter uh, in the form of matrix into a text file. But now I just want to change it. So the technique here is to use the keyword delimiter. Okay, and specify the delimiter. I want to use say semicolon, and just close this. So it actually, okay, my data.dat. I'll write it as a DAT. Okay, so that is directly written because I want to write it into a text rather than a mat format. So please see, right now you can see my data.dat is there. Again, I can use type my data.dat. You can see the same data which we have created in the form of a matrix which is A. These values are written over there, and you can see the delimiter, right? And the delimiter has actually been updated as per our requirement, and we mentioned that we want to write semicolons instead of the standard comma. All right, then let's go for the importing of the spreadsheet. Again, we have done this once, and this is going to be something like a revision for us. So I'll write the next concept that we are going to study is the fourth technique under the data import and export is to import the spreadsheet data. Now let's go back and check how to do this. I'm going to clear and see. So let's bring a variable t. This is for a table for me. So t is equal to, if you recall, to read the spreadsheet, we had used read table. Directly you want to read all the values from the table. So we had used this. So this is patients dot specify with XLS for the Excel sheet, right? And now this brings a t over there in the workspace, right? And as the t comes, you can see that the t is of size 100 into 10, right? This was the patient detail table, right? So there were 100 patients and their details is present in this. All right, so this is how you read it. Again, I have an option to perform the reading in a range of data. Okay, so you just have to use a keyword called range. Let me assume that I don't want to read complete, so I'll just write t2 is equal to, the command or the function will be still read table. okay, and the file is still patients.xls, right? But now you see I have to specify the range, in the sense from where to where. Okay, so the range specifier has to be as per the standards of an Excel sheet. If you remember, the column wise names have been given like A1, A2, A3, A4, like that, right? When you move in the same column, you change the row. And as you move from left to right, as you change the column, it becomes A, B, C, D, E, right? So if I want to read the first, say 4 values, right? So I have to specify starting from A1 till A, B, C, D, E. So first 5 rows, 5 columns is till E, let us say 5. So just see this. This is going to read, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A for last name, B for gender, C for age, D for location, and E for the height. So 5 values are reading. So starting from A to E. Now 1 to 5, because there are total 5 rows, right? The first row is the heading, and then followed by 4 more rows corresponding to first 4 patients' details. Okay, because of which you are supposed to write like this. Okay, so if you want to read 5 patients, then change this. You see, this is, I'll make this as E6. So you see, it's going to read one more, right? So this is a technique to read read the range of data to import by specifying what is called as a range parameter. Right. So once we know how to enter the range parameter, I can also do the reading of the data from a specific worksheet, right? Because we know that the Excel sheet, when I open, it actually has several sheets in it, right? So I can write the data, I can save the data, and I can enter the data in several sheets, right? When I in the Excel sheet, right? So let us say I want to read from a specific sheet, right? I want to read the complete data from a specific sheet. Okay, so how to specify that? We'll do this. So T table 3 is equal to, this is read table. Now I'll change the Excel sheet, because the one which we considered patients.xls has no does not have many sheets in it. It has only one sheet. Okay, so I'll write one more, that is airlines underscore xlsx. This is the file, and I don't want to specify range, because I want to read all. When you don't specify the range, you are going to read uh, complete sheet, but I want to specify which sheet I want to read. So this is a specific Excel sheet that contains the data related to aeroplane timings, and from where to where, etc., for a particular company, right? Year wise, it has been arranged year wise. So I just have to specify, and the sheets have been given a name according to the year. So sheet followed by, I have to specify the name of the sheet which you want to read. Since this particular file uh, has the name of each sheets as the year, right, of which it has been taken from, so I just have to specify an year, so 2008 possibly. Okay, so now you see it actually reads the complete data from this. So you can see T3 will come up now. So it is actually 1753 into 29. There are 29 columns in this. So let's see the details of this. So this is corresponding to year 2008. And you can see it gives you a details, which month, which day, which week, departure time, right? Arrival time, which carrier it is, etc. You can see the complete details, right? Up to 29 columns. All right. So because of that, now I am able to read the specific year, right? Because that was a sheet name given, right? So I'm able to read this particular sheet by using the sheet specifier. All right, so the next thing that we can do is clubbing both the concepts, reading a specific range and specific sheet. So let's try to do that now. I'll write this as T4 is equal to read table, specify the name, that is dot, this is to specify the name of the Excel sheet which I want to read. Then I'll specify the sheet number, maybe once again use sheet. I'll specify a different number, maybe, right? Say 1997, right? And then I specify what range I want to read. So the range of data that I want to read now is A1 to E11. Right? So you can see that this is going to print only a specific range of this. So I'm saying A to E, so only first 5 columns have been read. So 1 to 11, so 10 rows are there, plus 11th row will be this heading. Right? So we are able to read the selected range from a very specific sheet like this. Okay, then let's move on to the next topic. And here we are going to see the fifth technique, and this is this is to read spreadsheet into a matrix. Right, so this is the first thing, and in which we'll specify variety of other things as well. Okay, so let's move back to the MATLAB window and say in MATLAB. Now I can read a spreadsheet data into a matrix now. All right, so I'll write matrix M should be equal to, now we see we change the function. So the function is read matrix. So this is read matrix. We already have saved a simple matrix in the form of a Excel sheet. So it has been given a name like basic underscore matrix. All right, dot XLS. So you see, as I enter, M comes into picture. So this was the matrix which was written over there inside the particular Excel sheet by the name basic matrix. All right, next I will show you how to read the specific sheet and specific range into a matrix. Okay, into this. So once again, I'll write maybe M2 is equal to, I have to use the read matrix command and specify the name. I'll give the same name, basic matrix dot Excel sheet, comma sheet. Say here names have not customized names have not been given by default. The Excel sheet saves it the names in the sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, etc. So it's in the sheet 1. I want to read the sheet 1 data, and I will specify the range as, so I just want to read say B1 and I want to read till D3. press enter, you can see that only the specified range has been read over here, and this has been converted into a matrix. Okay, so that was next technique in the data reading and writing techniques. All right, let's move on to the sixth one. Then we have another data read write technique. So this is to read the spreadsheet into a cell array. So this is our next option. Right, let's move on to the MATLAB screen to check how this can be done. Right, now let's create a cell array, and this is done by reading a specific Excel sheet. All right, so I'll write read. See the change in the command. Previously we used read matrix. Now it's a read cell. So I'm specifying that I'm going to my output should be a cell, right? Then specify what is the name. Okay, so line small underscore subset dot. Okay, this is the file name, right? And I want to read everything, so I don't want to specify. You can see that it's a 1339 into 29 cell, right? So everything gets converted into this. So simply write this to see the details, right? You can see this is 1339 into 29, so that so many bytes have been allocated, and the class is cell. So a reading not in the array format, not in the numerical array format, not in any other table format or something. Everything comes into the this specific cell format. Okay, now as expected, we are going to use sheet option and the range option to read the data. Okay, so this can be done using, say, c2 is equal to, once again, read cell. That command itself we are going to use. Specify the same name, underscore subset dot xlsx comma sheet. Now I specify a different sheet number. Okay, maybe 2000 comma. I'll also specify the range comma. This is say C3 till K7. That's okay. You can see that starting from C. So as you move from left to right, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. All right, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 3 to 7, there are 5 rows. Since I'm not reading the heading here, not starting from C1, I'm not able to I'm not able to see the headings here, right? So if you want to see the headings, I'm supposed to specify C1. So now I'm expecting the headings as well. See the day of month, day of week, everything is in the what you call the cell format. All right, it's not in the tabular format. That's why I don't see the headings as what we expected, right? So headings are not being read in the tabular format. It's not a table, it's a cell, right? So because of which I don't see the headings in the highlighted, and there is a separate row marking, and they're not bold, all because of this reason. Okay, right. So this is the next technique that we were supposed to use, and now we'll move on to the next technique of data import and export. Here I will show you how to read the spreadsheet columns into separate variables, right? How to do that, right? We can check this, right? So this is the spreadsheet data columns to separate variables. So this will be our next technique. All right, let's move back to the MATLAB screen to check how this can be performed. And I'm going to clear and clear the command window as well. So let's see. Say I want to read first 3 columns of a specific, say, spreadsheet, right? So what names you want to give, you have to specify over here within the square bracket. Say I want to read the first column into a variable called year. All right, and say I want to read whatever is the second column of that spreadsheet, I want to read it as month. Okay, the variable will be month. Okay, in that I'm going to get the complete second column of that particular spreadsheet, and maybe I'll write day. This is what I want to read with the variable names are this. Okay, now read vars, read for reading, var is for variables. Then you specify which particular spreadsheet you are talking about. So this is just subset dot Excel sheet. So specify just like this. So you can see 3 variables will be created in the workspace now, right? Because I'm asking to read 3 different variables, 3 different columns of that particular Excel sheet to be put up into 3 variables. Now the variables will be seen on the workspace and I present. So just observe 3 things. So each one has the same size, like 1338 into 1. Let's open that and see. So you can see it contains some numbers and we have named them as day. Okay, then month. So same size of data 1338, and here possibly we have some numbers coming up. All right, like this we can read a specific column into a variable. We can specify that, okay, in MATLAB. Then now we were reading so far. Let's try to do the writing of or the data export. We'll try to do the export part. Okay, so this will be the technique number 8 for us. So the 8th data import output technique is to write the table data or tabular data into the spreadsheet. Okay, let's see how this can be done on a MATLAB. All right, now let me load the data from a file. So let me load patients.mat. You see, this is not a table. I bring all the variables into my workspace. So you can see age, diastolic, gender, height, last name, location, self-assessed health status, smoker or not, systolic, and weights. Everything comes up into Now, how to convert this into a table? Since my intention here is to write a tabular data into a spreadsheet. So first I need to create a tabular data. I don't have a table with me. So because of that, my intention is to create a table first. So for which I brought some variables into this. Variables in your workspace can be converted into table by using the command table. So this is what we already have used. So let me specify what all the variables I want to bring it into the table. So maybe, so just look at how this is being given, typed. I will write the same thing over here. Okay, everything is same. Come on, then I want to write age in my table. Then the next column I want is weight, and also I want to see the smoking status. All right, smoker. Close this and this. Now you see T comes up in the workspace, and if you enter T over here, you can see that it's the complete table, right? I think we have 100 entries over there. Okay, now let me show how to write this onto a spreadsheet. All right, so I'll create a file name that I want to write. Let's say this is patients data dot Excel sheet. Okay, anyway, nothing to do there. So it just creates the file name in as a single, since it is a single quote, it is a character 1 into 17 character array. Now I want to write this particular table T onto this file name. So how do we can do that by using a function called write table. Write table. So the table name is T, and you can actually specify this itself over here, right? Otherwise you can simply, since it is already assigned to another variable, you can simply use the variable name. I just wanted to show you this also, that's why I use a different technique now. Other than that, just specify which sheet you want to write. So sheet, give a name to the sheet. Okay, you can simply specify 1, indicating that it will go to the first sheet. Okay, and tell where you want to write. Okay, so I can do that by using the range option. Okay, this is comma. So starting point you can mention like D1. So starting from D1, you write this complete date. So press enter. Now I am expecting a patient's data to be popping up, to be coming up in the current folder, which you can see here. Okay, is right. So anyway, you can open that and check later, and we will get the first sheet starting from D1. You have the patient's details, which we had put up in T, written over there. All right, then now we can move to the next concept, that is topic number 9. And now we look at the concept to write the numeric, and also I want to show you simultaneously the text data into a spreadsheet. All right, now let's go back to the MATLAB and check how this can be done. So let me create a numeric array first. magic 6. Again, I want to convert this into numbers, so I divide by some random number, say 13. So you see, you get this kind of real numbers in this particular array, right? So I create my file name by, this is testdata.excel sheet, and I want to write the matrix, correct? Because this is a matrix. When you want to write, you have to use the write matrix command. Write matrix, which is a matrix. Matrix is A. And what's the file name? File name is given the variable name as file. Then you can specify sheet, right? You don't want to specify a name to the sheet. Definitely you can enter a number like 1 comma 2 comma 3, whatever it puts into that particular sheet. You can specify range, specify which range you want to, where you want to write. For in this case, I just want to show that I want to write E1 till maybe if I start from this is E1 F G H I J, so this should be J. If this is 1 2 3 4 5 6, so J6. Okay, then this. So now you can see a new Excel sheet will be created with the name test data. So that comes here. You can see the test data.excel has been created. Okay, then let's say I just want to write a cell array. So I'll create a cell array C is equal to, I'll write in this is time temp first row, then the second row I want is 1298, then I want to write say 14 x, then I want to write maybe 1696 possible. Okay, so I'll just close this. So you can see that a 4 into 2 cell array has been created. Now I just want to write this cell array into the same Excel sheet. That's a test data.excel sheet, but I want to write it in a different sheet, right? So how to do that? Now you are supposed to use the command called write cell, because you are writing a cell. So previously you were writing a matrix, so you use the command called write matrix. So write cell, right? Which cell you want to write? C. What is the file name? File name is saved in the variable name called file name itself. You can even specify inside the double quotes over here, right? Then go to sheet. Now you see I want to give a specific name to the sheet, not like sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. If that was the case, you can simply write 1, 2, 3 and so on. I can use 2 here just to put this data into the second sheet irrespective of what is the name. Default technique is to use the sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3 itself. Okay, that will be used and it will put it into the second sheet if I just use a number 2 over here. Okay, but I don't want to do that. I want to show you how to you create the sheet with the name that we want. So I just want to use a name called temperatures. So it creates a specific sheet by this name and it's going to put it over there, and I will specify the range as, say, I just want to specify where I want to start, say B2, right? So now no need to create a new file because this file already exists in my what you call the current folder. Simply when you press enter, actually this gets updated. You can open and see there will be two different pages, two different sheets, and according to what we asked to write, it has been written over there. Okay, then moving ahead, uh, the next data read write is corresponding to images, because even the images are we have images and music, etc. They are also what you call the data, right? So data import and export includes this as well. So the next data read write technique, the 10th one, is right to read images. Okay, let's go back to MATLAB to check how to do this. Right. Now just okay, let's do this. Let's say we have an image. Again, I already have saved this in the image path, MATLAB path. So there is already a image saved. I'll show you how to do that. So you can assign the image to a variable name, say I. So image, I'll give a name I is equal to. If you want to read an image, the command to be used is IM for image, READ, IM read. Okay, then specify what you want, which is the image, right? So there is a image by this name in my computer, so that is NGC6543A, and it is saved in the JPEG format. So JPG format, not JPEG, sorry, in JPG format. So when I press enter, you can see I comes into picture. So this is actually, if I press I, it's actually a three-dimensional image, a three-dimensional data, because it, if you remember the basics of image, right? An image consists of three different planes. First plane, a color image specifically, contains three dimensions. First dimension for the X and Y, first page is for red color, then G, that is green, then blue, right? So the 650 into 600 is the size of image in terms of the pixels, and into 3, this specifies that there are, right, 3 such pages, right? So first page for red color, then green color, then blue color. All right, okay. So I just since I'm not able to see, I'll look at the details in a different way. I'll simply use, so you can see that name is I, size is this much, it uses so many bytes, and it's in this class, right? Everything is unsigned integer of 8 bits. Okay, right? So this is what I know. Now how to see the image. I just want this. Now so far you have read the image and this is in the workspace as a variable, correct? But I'm not able to visualize. To see an image, we are going to use IM show. Okay, IM show, specify the name of the image. All right, so when you press this, the window pops up. Okay, so this is the actual image which I have, right? So now you I think you understand the name, because this name was for a given nebula, right? So the name is NGC6543, and the same name has been given to the file. Okay, that's why the name was something like right, if you see NGC6543A.jpg. All right. Right. So this is the technique that we are going to use to read the images and to visualize the image using the specific technique.